Hi, I'm Tobin from Tobins How To, and today we're going to be learning how to make a charcuterie board with my friend Darius.
So a charcuterie board is basically where you put cheese, meat, olives, anything you want on it. Today we're going to show you how to make one. Let's go.
So we're going to be listing all the safety equipment and tools you need to make a charcuterie board. You need to protect your ears, so you could either use these little ear thingies. Safety glasses protect your eyes from any sawdust getting in your eyes, and this helps you a lot, trust me. So, this is a 12.5-inch planer. Basically what it does, it just kind of eats the wood up to make it a little smoother for sanding. We are using the softwood cedar. It makes a lot of sawdust, so you usually want a dust collector or vacuum to suck all that up. Whenever you're working with power tools, you always need adult supervision. So, that's why we're getting our friend here, Steve-O, who's our editor and our woodworking supervisor.
Now that we are done power planing, we are now going to cut the board into segments.
So the first thing you got to think about when you're doing this is you got to think about what's going to happen after you've cut it. So if I cut off just a little piece like this, the board's going to want to flip that way. So I'm just going to try cutting it in the middle first, and then I've got smaller pieces to work with. You want to mark it? Sure. Mark it right at 12 inches. So.
You can also use a handsaw. It leaves a bit of a rougher edge, but all you need to do is some sanding, and you'll probably find it in your garage. So now that we got our charcuterie boards cut and planed, we got to drill them. So this is a drill press. It can drill a straight hole. For the bit you would want to use for a charcuterie board is called a spade bit. So it can drill a larger hole to put your finger through.
If you're using a regular drill, it can also have a bit of a kick to it, so just be careful of that.
Now we got our hole drilled, we're gonna do some sanding. If you're sanding, start with 60 to 80 grit for rough sanding. Then move to 120 grit for fine sanding. Then finish with 220 grit or higher to get the board smooth for linseed oil. This is linseed oil.
So the reason why we use linseed oil is because it protects the wood, it preserves the wood, and it brings the color out on the wood.
And the only thing that's really dangerous about this is its spontaneous combustion. So at any time, it could just catch on fire in the sun. Soak it in water, leave it in a bucket full of water after you're done with your rags. It's boiled linseed oil, so it dries a bit faster, and also it's totally non-toxic at all. So you can put it on your charcuterie boards and you won't get food poisoning. Basically what we're gonna be using is, we can use gloves if you want to, but I usually use gloves because I don't really like using rags because they kind of soak up all the linseed oil. And I also usually use gloves because like the oil gets all over your hands and it's kind of hard to get off.
Use a bit of it.
Or, like what I do, I just pour a little bit, just tiny bit on the charcuterie board. wipe it with your hand.
He made a good point about the rag soaking it up. That's why I'm using a bit more than him.
See how that makes the wood pop a lot more compared to,
Compared to this side.
yeah. And this usually only takes like 24 hours to dry. Do not put it in your dishwasher, wash it by hand, then you're ready to eat.
He means put food on the board. Don't eat the board.
And if you ever have a school project or something like a fundraiser to do at a community center or something, this has always been a good idea for us, and I think it'd be a great idea for you guys too. These are the end products of our charcuterie boards, and this has been Tobin from Tobin's How To. See you in the next episode. Hoorah!